Hello everyone, welcome back to the 20 Dilf channel, and this is my housemate's 2001 Subaru Liberty B4. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is going through the entire car, so what's under the bonnet, what it's like to drive, and everything else. So let's get straight into it. As always, let's start off with the front, where you've got a very familiar Subaru-like design. Obviously, it's just very Subaru. Headlights, they're halogens. Whole front end, it looks good, it looks aggressive. Especially with the setup on this car, which I will go through obviously in this video. So yes, the front of this car looks really good, and yeah, despite the paint faded bonnet, I reckon this front end looks really good. The whole car is simplistic, but it's stylish and it looks good. Like it's a really good looking car. I think this is probably my favorite Subaru out of the lot, and yeah, I'm gonna show you why. Move along to the side here. As you can see, the entire side of the car is pretty flush. Obviously, you've got these lovely door handles. I love flush door handles. Moving down, obviously, not too much else. You've got the side skirt here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The car is sitting on BC gold coilovers, so that really does transform how the car drives. It's also obviously sitting quite a lot lower than a standard Subaru Liberty, and it's got these WRX champagne wheels. WRX wheels, they're really cool. Sitting just behind the wheels, you have got upgraded WRX 4-pot brakes and slotted rotors as well, and yeah, they really help to stop the car. And yeah, huge upgrade over the stock brakes, so I'm told. I actually haven't driven a unmodified Liberty. This is the only Liberty I've driven, and yeah, they're really good brakes. I'll just leave it at that. And coming round to the rear of the Subaru Liberty, you'll notice a couple of things that aren't quite standard on your typical day-to-day Liberty. So to start off with, you've got the Legacy boot right here. So the Legacy was sold in Japan and a few other markets as well. I think I saw a couple of Legacies when I went overseas, but they may have, I don't know. I honestly don't know. You see, I'm very much a Euro guy. I'm not so much in tune with all the Japanese stuff. I like my Euros, and I like my Lexus as well. So I'm very much more Euro focused, but I gotta say, I really do love driving this car. It's a fantastic car to drive, and yeah, I absolutely love the design at the rear here. It's tinted compared to stock, so yeah, slightly darker. It really makes this car look quite mean from the rear. And then couple that with the typical Subaru modification, which is the cannon muffler right down there. Of course, being a Subaru, it's got a symmetrical all-wheel drive system. So Subaru's all-wheel drive system, it's a really good all-wheel drive system, I suppose. Yeah, no, really good. Very Subaru. I suppose you'll probably be wanting to hear how that exhaust sounds. So what I'm going to do is let you take a listen. Don't be alarmed, the car's running a bit rich. It needs a new O2 sensor, I believe. It's got an engine light, and it chews through a bit of fuel. And, the exhaust, look, it's a Subaru exhaust. You can tell it's a Subaru. Personally, I think what I would have done, it sounds good. It sounds a bit raspy though for my liking. Personally, if I was doing the exhaust, I would have put a resonator on it. That's not obviously to say it sounds bad. I reckon it sounds pretty decent. So anyway, let's go check out what is under the bonnet. Okay, so I do have to be quite quick with this review because, yeah, it looks like it's going to rain pretty soon. It sounds like it's coming pretty close. But here is the legendary EJ25, the 4-cylinder boxer. And yeah, notorious Subaru engine for more than one reason. So obviously, this is what gives the car the infamous Subaru sound, of course. And yeah, it's particularly known for its sound, and it's also known for having a lot of head gasket issues. The car's at 207,000 Ks, I think, and the engine is still going strong. It's a naturally aspirated variant, so it produces 127 kilowatts. So not too bad, not too bad. You kind of, when you're driving it, you wish there was a little bit more power, which obviously you'd get from a turbocharged variant, but it's okay. It's okay. The car makes up for it with the cornering. Obviously it's on its BCs, and yeah, it goes really well around corners. In terms of what has been done under the bonnet, all that I know of is that it's got upgraded headers, and that is pretty much it. I think everything else is pretty much stock. I know it needs a timing belt, but everything else looks pretty good. Just your average EJ25 under the bonnet here, and yeah, it seems to be an all right nick. It's not leaking oil really anywhere. And yeah, no, it's a pretty healthy engine. Moving past the engine bay, we can move into the interior of this Subaru Liberty. And yeah, a little bit's been changed here as well. You've got WRX bucket seats, which is really, really nice. You've also got a GFB short shifter with an STI gear knob, which is an absolute treat. I love the short shifter. It's really, really nice. It's so notchy as well. It's it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're used to it, it feels awesome. It feels really, really awesome. You've also got an Apple CarPlay Sony head unit, which is really good. And yeah, that's, I'm gonna hop around to the driver's seat actually. In the driver's seat now. So obviously you got the stock steering wheel here. You've got your cruise control here, which all works very well. Dashboard nice and clean. It's obviously done 207,000 Ks, but pretty much displays all you really need. It's very, very clean. Also, displays what doors open, which is really cool. Other things, obviously, I really like this faux wood grain sort of trim. I don't even know what to call it. It's like, it's trying to be a really dark shade of wood, I think. And then obviously you got the, like, that's how little movement it is. It's like, if you look at it, you can't really tell what gear it's in, which is funny. But it feels really nice to shift with. Obviously down here you've got the handbrake, you've got a little storage area there, and yeah, that's really about it. Small crack in the windshield there, but we don't talk about that. Looking into the rear, I really like the design of the seats here. It's a really, really nice material that they've used here. And obviously it can be found on the door cards as well, which is quite nice. I also really like the metal door handles here. Everything else in the car, pretty good. It's got an upgraded sound system as well. So it's got a subwoofer in the boot. I think it's an Alpine system. I'm not entirely sure. I would confirm it with you, but the boot doesn't open at this current moment in time. So unfortunately, we cannot ever find out what the subwoofer is in the back there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much everything I have to talk about it. Oh, also, one more thing I like to point out. The cup holder still works. Look at that. That is stunning. But I think what we should do now is go ahead and take this car for a drive. Okay, so here we are in the Subaru Liberty, and I've put the coilovers on the softest setting, so hopefully the camera won't fall off, but knowing my luck, it probably will. So the window's up, you can hear the exhaust isn't too intrusive so far. If you let off, it's a little bit, but on motorways and stuff, it isn't actually too drony, which is really good. Yeah, so it means you can still drive the car very well with the exhaust, which is quite good, because this is not a quiet exhaust. If you heard it in person, you'd hear it's quite a loud exhaust. Like I can't exactly use like a regular voice to speak over the exhaust. But yeah, going around these corners pretty slowly, my camera to fall off. Yeah, look, we'll give it a bit down here. I might open up the windows actually, just so you can hear it. See, it gets a lot louder with the windows down, which shows that there's really good sound insulation, which is quite good. To put the foot down, you can hear that iconic Subaru rumble, of course, from the 4-cylinder Boxer. But here is a little straight, so I'll drop a gear, drop another gear. Let's see what it's got. It's not bad for an NA Subaru with 127 kilowatts. That is not actually too bad. I would classify that pretty good. Also, softening the suspension has made quite a big difference. It rides a lot harder if you tighten up the suspension. If you soften it up though, it's quite a lot more comfortable, quite a lot more smooth, and my camera hasn't fallen off, so that's always a good sign. Let's go straight. Let's give it a bit. really good from the inside. I actually really like how it sounds from the inside. You don't really get that raspy tone that you get from the exterior. Inside it sounds pretty crisp. I put up the window so you can actually hear me. You can't really tell how raspy it is, which I quite like about it. So yeah, the exhaust gets a thumbs up from me from the interior point of view. Obviously, like I mentioned, the car's very comfortable. Obviously the WRX buckets, they're very supportive, so they hold you in place really, really well, but they don't invade on comfort too much. Like, they're still very, very comfortable. It's a very usable car. Like, if you were to daily this car with its current setup, you would be able to, theoretically, without it being too annoying. So yeah, I quite like that about it. The smell in this car, I don't know what it is, but literally it's the best smelling car I think I've ever been in. It smells so good in here. I mean, obviously you're not going to find that with your Subaru Liberty, but this one smells incredible. So anyway, we've got a corner coming up here. Let's drop a gear and see how it corners. That didn't go as well as I hoped. So unfortunately, due to my terrible setup, we won't be able to test the handling. But I can say from experience, driving it in the past, and now we're going to be stuck behind some slow people as well. Driving it in the past, the car corners really, really well, which is good. I mean, that's what you pay for when you get BC coilovers. So it's very good that it actually corners how you want it to. Yeah, you can feel pretty confident throwing it around corners. It's very stable, and yeah, you don't ever really feel like you're pushing it beyond the limit. Like, the limit is the limit. Like, you can feel the limit, if you get what I mean. Steering it's nice and light. It's a balance between nice and light, and also you get a good idea of the road feel. Like, yeah, I don't know, the steering in this car, it's very nice. It's very direct. It's not too light. It doesn't feel floaty. I'm sure this car's standard, like stock, would feel pretty boat-like, similar to my Lexus when that was stock. But again, like, I'm talking about the setup on this car. So yeah, with this setup, it feels really, really great to drive. Yeah, like I mentioned, this car has a subwoofer. So if you're doing like a long drive or something, you want to pump tunes, like, oh my, this has got to be one of the best sounding sound systems I've heard ever. Like, it really does sound good. I think from memory, or I read somewhere that upgraded the front speakers as well. So yeah, I mean, everything else is like standard Subaru sound system, but it's a really, really good sounding sound system. I really like the sound system in this car. It sounds really good. Unfortunately, this car doesn't have a sunroof, which would have been cool, but I mean, everything else it does have. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because you drop a gear, especially with this short throw shifter. It's a very nice shifter to use. Bloody hell. That's me struggling to get into gear there. So yeah, I mean, driving it normally, like just doing gentle acceleration. I mean, as you can hear, the exhaust isn't too intrusive. I mean, it's loud. It's definitely a loud exhaust, but I mean, with the windows up, like I said, not too intrusive. Always a good sign. Everything else is really nice. The aircon works pretty well, which is good. I'm actually boiling. Would you buy this car? And my honest answer is, like, if you've got plans to do it up, make it like this. Really, really, like, because these cars, like, you can modify everything, like literally everything. Subarus are very modifiable, unlike a lot of Volkswagens and stuff I've had in the past. So there's a big community, a big following behind Subaru modification, like modifying Subarus and all that. So yeah, I mean, the engine's very well known by the community, so you can pretty much, you can find anything. I've heard of so many people modifying Subaru, like, especially in this area. Like, a lot of people, they got Subarus and they do whatever, because you can modify the absolute hell out of it. So if you want to buy a car and modify it, and still allow it to be nice to drive, like, the interior in this car is really, really nice. It's a very, very nice place to be. I would highly recommend it for that. If you get one of these stock, like I said, I haven't driven one of these stock, so I don't know. It's a skewed perception, because I really don't know how these drive standard. I mean, I'd imagine it would be something like this, just a little bit more tame. Obviously, you wouldn't have that exhaust. bloody hell, there's a whole Ferrari mate going on here. So this is going to be quite interesting. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna knock this guy's mirror off. Why did I pull in here? Why did I pull in here of all places? There's a guy on a 408 doing a bloody Yui right in front of me now. Yeah, I mean that's one way to end the video. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna end the video now. Hopefully this review was somewhat helpful. I know my facts on Subarus are just, like I said, that I don't know much about Subarus in general. I'm very much a Euro guy, so look, if you wanted the statistics and like all of that, go Google it. Google it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you my driving impressions, how I find the car to drive. I find it to drive awesome. Like, it's a really, really great car to drive. So yeah, I'd highly recommend one. And also they look really, really cool, especially when they're lowered. They look really nice. So anyway, that's going to be it from me, and I'll see you in the next video with my R32.